King Carl Gustaf, as the head of the Swedish state, was invited to deliver a speech at the opening of the parliamentary year in the Riksdag and to participate in the preceding church service. As every year, he was accompanied by his family. For the first time since moving back to Sweden, Princess Madeleine returned to her royal duties and accompanied her family at the official event, along with her husband, Chris O'Neill. This event was especially significant for them, as they have settled in Stockholm with their 3 children since the beginning of the summer, making their participation in official events increasingly customary. Previously, there were reasonable doubts about whether Madeleine would take on more official duties after returning to her homeland. Considering her past relatively inactive role and Chris O'Neill's refusal to partake in royal affairs, such assumptions seemed quite logical. However, after the summer period when rumors and speculations died down, the opening of the Parliament and the beginning of the school year became a fitting moment for their first major appearance as part of the royal family. The event was also attended by King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia, Crown Princess Victoria with her husband Prince Daniel, and Prince Carl Philip with his wife Princess Sophia, who are expecting their 4th child in February 2025. The parliamentary opening was preceded by a solemn religious service in Storkyrkan Church, dedicated to the memory of Georg Riedel, a famous Swedish composer who passed away in February and was awarded by the king in 1998. The royal family members entered the church in pairs with solemn expressions, matching the ceremonial and serious nature of the event. In the past, a strict dress code was enforced for such events. Ladies wore long black dresses and tiaras. However, since the 1950s, the requirements have changed, and now women are expected to wear short dresses in black and white. This is precisely how Queen Sylvia and the 3 princesses Victoria, Madeleine, and Sophia dressed. Madeleine stood out among them, choosing a black midi skirt and a matching jacket adorned with stones, as well as a white silk blouse with a stand-up collar. Her outfit was elegant and stylish, complemented by accessories. The youngest daughter of King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia chose white Dior slingback pumps with the J. Dior inscription on the back strap, priced at €950. She added a small black clutch and earrings with 2 large pearls, adding extra charm to her appearance. Despite maintaining a low profile, even before her move to the USA, Madeleine has never shied away from her princess duties. Therefore, it's not surprising that her official activity has increased somewhat with her return to Sweden. However, Chris O'Neill's participation in this event was a real surprise, as he has always made it clear that he does not wish for the title of prince or the duties that come with it. From the outset, this was agreed upon with the royal family and never became a subject of conflict with the Bernadottes, although it remained a topic of discussion in the press and society. Until now, he has only appeared at a few public events, and those that were strictly family-oriented. The closest he came to an official status was his participation in the park opening ceremony in honor of their son Nicholas's christening, which took place over 2 years ago. This event was significant for the boy, who appeared as the main figure at an official event for the first time. It is worth recalling that King Carl Gustaf of Sweden specifically reduced the number of royal family members to free his grandchildren from royal duties and allow them to live outside the country if they wished. An exception is made only for Prince Estelle and Prince Oscar, who, as children of the Crown Princess, will represent the royal house in the future. Chris O'Neill is neither a prince nor a Swedish citizen, nor does he aspire to this status, even before his arrival in the country. It was clear that he would live there as a German citizen. He also holds British citizenship, and it was not expected that he would participate in royal duties. However, his presence at this event showed that he is willing to support his wife in certain obligations when his work schedule allows it, and essentially, he has never given reasons to believe otherwise. When the royal house published an official photo of the couple and their 3 children with a hint of formality on Madeleine's 42nd birthday, many saw it as a sign that the princess is returning to a more active role. It is too early to talk about this for sure, but one thing is clear: next to her will always be not a prince but a husband who supports her. Moreover, an interesting moment occurred between the royal family's daughters-in-law. Crown Princess Victoria and Prince Carl Philip's wife, Sophia, Both chose black dresses with white prints for this event. The future Queen Victoria opted for a model from the Swedish brand Other Stories, a meaty dress with a high collar, long sleeves, and buttons, complemented by a black maxi belt that replaced the matching waistband. At first glance, the dress pattern appears to be polka dots, but upon closer inspection, it becomes clear that the white elements have a more geometric shape, kind of optical illusion. Victoria's look was completed with black shoes from Gianvito Rossi, a clutch from the Aber brand, a white hairband, pearl earrings, and a diamond brooch on the collar of the dress. Sofia, in turn, chose a new black polka dot dress from the brand Endiata. The dress perfectly accentuated her figure, even though it was not specifically designed for pregnant women, although the princess's slight baby bump is already noticeable. Last week, the royal court announced that Carl Philip and Sofia are expecting their fourth child in February, and since then, they have been actively participating in official events. Sofia's dress is adorned with a polka dot print and original detachable faux fur inserts on the sleeve cuffs. The look was complemented by 10-centimeter black patent leather pumps and a black headpiece in the form of a large flower brooch with stones attached to one side of her hair. Each princess remained true to her style, showcasing her unique taste and giving the public impressive looks. After the church service, King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia arrived at the Riksdag by carriage. They were met in front of the building by the Speaker of Parliament, Andreas Norlin. The Riksdag is the Swedish parliament, consisting of 349 seats. Since 1970, the Swedish parliament has operated as a unicameral system. The crown prince and princess followed the royal couple, and then came the prince and princess. As earlier in the church during the day, Princess Madeleine concluded the procession along with her husband, Chris O'Neill. A naval march accompanied the royal couple and the crown prince and princess into the Parliament's plenary hall. Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson also accompanied the royal family. After the parliamentarians sang the royal anthem, the king delivered his speech to the assembled audience. The king's speech was relatively brief, consisting of several paragraphs. A few short phrases touched upon the most important political issues, including Sweden's recent accession to NATO, the protection of democracy, and the conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East. What you decide in this assembly will affect the Swedish people for many years to come, said the monarch at the end of his speech. My hope and belief are that you will conduct respectful debates, listen to each other, and make the best decisions for Sweden. Princess Madeleine's recent return to Sweden and her increased visibility at official events have sparked widespread speculation about her future role within the Swedish royal family. Known for her elegance and grace, Madeleine has often been seen as the free spirit of the Bernadotte family, choosing to carve her own path rather than follow the traditional route set by royal protocol. However, her presence at the opening of the Parliamentary year, alongside her husband Chris O'Neill, raises important questions about whether this marks the beginning of a new chapter in her life, one where she embraces a more active role in the royal framework. For years, Madeleine lived abroad, first in New York and then in London, where she focused on her family life with Chris O'Neill and their 3 children. During this time, she maintained a relatively low profile, participating in a limited number of official engagements, and often choosing causes close to her heart, such as children's rights and charitable activities. Her choice to prioritize her family and personal endeavors was met with mixed reactions. While some admired her independence and commitment to her family, others questioned her dedication to her royal duties. Now, with her return to Sweden and participation in the Riksdag's opening, the conversation has shifted. Madeleine's choice to re-engage with royal duties could be seen as a response to evolving circumstances, both within her family and the larger societal context. King Carl Gustaf's decision to streamline the royal family and reduce the number of active members has created a more focused and efficient monarchy, but it also places greater emphasis on those who remain active in their roles. Crown Princess Victoria, as the heir, naturally carries most of the weight of public duties, but there is a growing understanding that other members, such as Madeleine, could play supporting roles to strengthen the royal family's visibility and relevance in modern Sweden. However, this renewed activity does not necessarily indicate a full-time return to royal life. It is crucial to recognize the unique dynamics at play in Madeleine's situation. Unlike her siblings, she married a man who chose not to take on a royal title or associated responsibilities. Chris O'Neill's decision to stay out of the official royal spotlight is both a reflection of his professional independence and a desire to maintain a semblance of normalcy for their family. This stance is unlikely to change, which means any increased involvement from Madeleine must be balanced with their private life and commitments abroad. This balance brings into question how Madeleine will navigate her dual roles as a mother and a princess. Her children, Leonore, Nicholas, and Adrienne, are growing up in a modern and international environment that allows them the flexibility to be both part of a royal family and outside of it. The decision to move back to Sweden may also reflect a desire to root them in their Swedish heritage and perhaps introduce them to the values and traditions of the Swedish monarchy. It is a delicate line to tread, one that requires careful thought and planning. Looking ahead, the most plausible scenario seems to be a hybrid role for Madeleine, one that involves selective participation in key royal events and causes that she deeply cares about. Such a path would allow her to continue her advocacy, particularly in child protection and education, while also fulfilling her familial obligations. Her involvement in organizations such as the World Childhood Foundation demonstrates her ongoing commitment to leveraging her status for meaningful impact. With Sweden and the world increasingly focused on humanitarian efforts and societal well-being, Madeleine's experiences and insights gained from living abroad could bring fresh perspectives to the Swedish monarchy's approach to these issues. At the same time, there remains a question of public perception and acceptance. The Swedish people have watched Madeleine grow from a young princess into a mature woman who, like many, has faced life's challenges, made difficult choices, and sought a balance between personal freedom and public duty. Her recent appearances suggest a renewed dedication to her country and its monarchy, but they also invite scrutiny. Can Madeleine redefine her role in a way that resonates with contemporary Sweden? Can she find a balance that honors her personal commitments while contributing meaningfully to the crown? These are the questions that will shape her future and the evolving narrative of the Swedish royal family. In essence, Princess Madeleine stands at a crossroads where the choices she makes now will influence not only her legacy but also the perception of the Swedish monarchy in a rapidly changing world. Her ability to navigate these waters, supported by her family yet guided by her independent spirit, could redefine what it means to be a modern princess, one who is neither confined by tradition nor disconnected from her roots. Only time will reveal how this journey unfolds. But one thing is clear: Princess Madeleine's story is far from over, and her potential to inspire, adapt, and lead remains as compelling as ever.